It's time for our pit stop. Here, we take a brief rest. It's a time to refuel, recharge, and explore shorter topics that are meaningful and helpful to us RVers. Welcome to RV Out West. I'm your host, Brooks. In today's technological world, the speed that we all are moving at seems so much faster than I ever remembered in my childhood. I understand that part of the goal of camping is to disconnect, to commune with nature, and plug into your family and friends undistracted. With that said, there is something good about staying connected while on the road. Perhaps it's a requirement because you're a digital nomad and have the ability to work from the road. Maybe you want to stay in touch with aging parents, or you want just fast speed so you can stream a movie in the evening in the comfort of your RV. Whatever your reasons are, there are many options, and unfortunately, there is not a single one-line answer to finding connectivity while you're on the road. From Starlink, mobile carrier hotspots, to T-Mobile's new Away plan, or to Connectin, there are different solutions for different needs. In this pit stop, we chat with T-Mobile to discuss their home versus away plan, which is their new plan for RVers, and we chat with Connectin, a mobile network solution. My apologies in advance as the quality of this audio is not as great as I'd like, but the information shared I think still has a lot of value for you. So without further ado, let's go to the trade show floor together and chat with two different internet solutions for RVers. We're at the T-Mobile station. I just kind of want to hear, can you tell me a bit about kind of how the home internet works now?
So our home internet is for our cellular towers, so it works off of our cellular towers. We have some of them we have our separate towers for the home internet and some for the cellular. Basically approved addresses, you have to check if you're eligible for our 5G unlimited internet. They can use the 5G unlimited internet. It's a plug and play. T-Mobile offers it with no rental fees on the equipment.
Do you buy the equipment in advance, or is it a...
So you can go into the store, check your address eligibility, and then they'll give you an equipment on spot. We have different manufacturers for our equipment, but they all pretty much work the same. It works really fast. I do recommend getting your address validated. If it's not eligible in your area for the unlimited, you can also test out the home internet for the light plans, so like 100 gigabytes, 200 gigabytes. But T-Mobile is working on expanding the home internet. No data caps on the unlimited ones. If you do get a light plan because your home isn't eligible for the home internet one, there is data caps for those ones.
And then what now with the recent change that I read in the news about now these for like RVers not able to, can you explain to me kind of what those changes are and what's that looking like?
So right now we're coming out with a plan May 8th. For the T-Mobile Away plan. So those are specifically meant for RVers, nomaders, people always on a frequent go. It's an unlimited plan called T-Mobile Away that you can use while traveling. So you'll get T-Mobile network anywhere. The difference between that is that the home internet is specifically meant for the home. Yeah, with the T-Mobile Away, it's actually really awesome. It's an alternative for those RVers that need the unlimited Wi-Fi wherever they go.
And with that away plan, is it still the same base station that you're showing me here?
It is a different gateway.
Okay.
So when you go in and activate it, there is a gateway included with it. So
like, let's say I'm on a long travel day. Can I turn that on and keep it inside my truck so my kids can be in the back watching Netflix while we're physically driving down the road?
Absolutely. So when you're driving, you can have the gateway or the T-Mobile Away on, and it would work no problem. So the T-Mobile Way is new, so it's still in the works of seeing like how it would work on the go.
Oh, cost.
Yeah.
What is the cost difference between T-Mobile Home and T-Mobile Away?
So T-Mobile Home Internet has different costs. It depends on your rate plan, depends on everything. So for any T-Mobile customer right now, it's $50 with autopay.
Okay.
Tax fees included, price lock. But if you have T-Mobile Away, is for the unlimited one, I believe it's $160 with autopay.
Got it.
$160 with autopay comparing, and then they do have light plans for those as well.
Is there a data cap on the 160 plan?
No, so it's unlimited.
No throttling or whatever?
No throttle. It's comparable to any RV plans that you're pretty much getting.
Cool.
A lot of the RV plans that people see, like Connect or whatever, they actually run off of our towers.
Yeah.
So they borrow our towers. So if you do get T-Mobile Away, you're always prioritized as opposed to those ones, right?
Well, thank you so much for taking your time chatting with us. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Let's take a brief pause and hear a word from our friends over at Camper Alerts. It's summertime and the great outdoors are calling. But did you forget to book a campsite 9 months ago? Well, don't worry. Say goodbye to sold-out campgrounds with Camper Alerts. With Camper Alerts, you can choose your campground, select your site type, and set a personalized alert. And when a site becomes available, they will notify you. It's that simple. Visit camperalerts.com today and start setting your alerts. All right, so joining us today, we're going to talk with Bill here at Connect, and we're going to talk about some internet connectivity solutions for RVers, digital nomads, and people on the move. So, Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
So why don't you share with us a little bit about kind of your background?
I've been doing internet services since '94. I've always looked for things that would improve people's quality of life and be able to get them to have internet where they need it, when they need it.
Let's go ahead and jump in. So why don't you kind of explain the tech and explain the solution and kind of what's going on?
All right, so Connect 10's devices connect to all four of the major networks. Okay, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, US Cellular. All right, when you're traveling, it's actually looking for the best signal. All right, and it may jump from one network to another network while you're traveling. So you're actually able to use this while you're on the go, as well as when you get to a campground. You don't have to worry about, are you in a wooded area? Okay, where you get a cell phone signal, you're going to get a signal on the devices, and it's going to be quite a bit better. When you're looking at a cell phone, you've got an 1.5-inch antenna. When you look at these devices, you're talking about six-inch antennas. So you're getting a much better signal.
So with Connectin, then, is it buy the hardware and then a monthly, data usage fee or whatever?
Yeah, you're buying the equipment. All right, you own the equipment. Okay, and then you're paying for the service as you go. For the travelers, what's great is if you're going for 6 months and you're not going to be using it for 6 months, well, when you're on your last month of your travel, you get in touch with us, you open up a ticket, you call our support, or you go to our online support and say, hey, at the end of the month, can you please pause my service? And you can actually pause the service, not get billed until you're ready to get on the road again.
That's really great. So can you share with me a little bit about, let's talk about some of the hardware and what kind of are the price structures and differences between the different pieces of hardware?
Absolutely. We have our 5G devices, all right, and those are $199.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have our 4G devices that are $100.
Okay.
Okay, and on the 5G devices, if you go into an area that's true 5G, and there's about 34 places right now in the U.S. that are true 5G, the NFL cities around those. If you're not in a 5G area, you're going to downgrade to the LTE or the 4G, depending on the area that you're in. So it's going to scale for you depending on where you're at. On our 4G devices, those are only going to get the 4G and LTE services. So if you know that you're just staying in the rural areas, you're not going to go to any NFL cities, then the 4G would be what you would want to use.
And let me ask you this, because I do see on the devices, right, I have 4 LAN ports, so I can hardwire an Ethernet cable into that. So do you recommend, if I'm going to be stationary for a couple of weeks and I'm just, in a campground or I'm boondocking and needing to do some work, should I hardwire my laptop device into the LAN, or is the Wi-Fi within my trailer fine?
Hardwire is always going to be a little bit better because you're directly connected into the modem, all right, and you're actually able to get a direct signal. When you're using Wi-Fi, you're going from one radio to another radio. Even if you're in the same room, you are having a loss, at that point. So you want to make sure that when you're looking at it, what are your needs? All right, if you're doing a video call, okay, if you have the ability to hardwire, I always say hardwire. All right, I'm almost 60. I'm an old school. I like hardwiring. People that have been more into the more recent tech, they'll say, well, whether you use wireless or hardwire, it doesn't matter. Okay, so there's a lot of controversy hardwire to wire.
Okay.
I just actually prefer it because I feel like I got a cleaner connection.
And then let's talk about speeds. What are kind of average up and down speeds that people are seeing?
It really varies. Like here,
I'm sure it depends
here
on what-
in the show with the metal roof, we're getting between 50 and 100 down.
Okay.
Okay, if I take this and I go outside, I'm getting about 150 to 200 down.
Okay.
So it's going to vary.
Okay.
Okay, and then you also have the distance that you are from the towers. So it's very situational
Right.
to what your speeds are, but your average, if you look at it, you're going to be getting between 50 and 150 depending on area.
Can you share with me kind of what are some of the plans with Connect10?
We have multiple plans, all right? And when you're looking at the plans, that's what makes us different than all the national carriers. Because we're contracted with all the national carriers, what you're looking at is if you're not going to be using it a lot, all right? We have the low-end plan, which is a 100 gigabyte plan, okay, which starts out at $69, okay? And it goes from the 100 gig plan to the 350 gig plan, all the way up to our totally unlimited 4-network plan, which is $120.
And there's no throttling on that?
There's no throttling, no deprioritization. Use 1 meg, use 3.5 terabytes. Okay, it does not matter. All right, you're never gonna. The only time you're gonna find a loss of signal is if you're jumping from, Verizon to T-Mobile. Okay, during that switch, you may get a lag of up to 3 minutes. During the switch over from changing from one carrier to another. But during your regular usage, you're not going to see anything that's deprioritized. It is a true definition of unlimited.
That's great. What is the average kind of usage for somebody at home who's not? I'm just trying to get a baseline. What?
The standard usage is about 150 to 300 gig.
Okay.
All right, that's for the average person. Okay, if you're a binge watcher, okay, you may go up to 500 gig. Okay, or more. All right. I personally, at my home where I actually use a device, because I have Ring devices, I have a lot of smart devices, I use almost 3.5 terabytes a month. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I always say you can use from 1 meg to 3.5 terabytes, because I use 3.5 terabytes. I'm sure if I use 4 terabytes, I would be saying 4 terabytes.
Right.
We have not had people say, hey, at this point, I'm getting deprioritized, or I'm getting throttled, or I'm getting shut off, because that just doesn't happen with these. Because remember, this is not a SIM service. It's a cloud SIM service. So when you're connecting to this device, you connect to the cloud finds the best network, and in our SIM banks out of New York, it actually puts the SIM card associated with your device. So if something happens to that card, you don't have to go to a store and say, hey, I need a new SIM card. The system itself will switch that SIM card for you seamlessly.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. That's a cool piece of tech. That's nice.
Yeah, that's what makes these so phenomenal, is that there's nothing that you need to do other than plug it in and go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, when you're looking at Starlink, all right, versus our device, Starlink is a phenomenal device. I'll never say a bad thing about Starlink. Can you get one that you can use on the go? Sure. It's $2,500, and I believe it's $220, $250 a month.
Right.
Okay. So if that's within your affordability range, that's a great product. I would never say anything bad about them. But on their standard devices, you can't use it while you're traveling.
Well, where can people go learn more about Connect10? Where can they find you on social and online?
Well, we're all over social media, Connect10 Internet. All right, on the web, we're connect10internet.com. All right, and they can call us, they can text us, they can do anything. We're all over the place.
Okay. Well, Bill, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy show schedule to chat with me. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you.
I'd like to share with you that I've added a new easy feature and a way to reach out to the show. You can now text the show, or you can play with my dogs. But either way, there is a link in the description right there in your podcast app with this episode and all future episodes. So if you have a question about RVing or a topic you'd like me to cover, or just to say hello, please feel free to send me a text. Just click that link in the podcast description right there in your podcast player app. I look forward to hearing from you. Speaking of sharing, please remember that I'm looking for you to share with us about an app or a digital tool that you love to use to make your RV life a little bit easier. Simply visit rvoutwest.com and click on the link question to share with us about your favorite digital app or tool. I look forward to hearing from you. And again, please visit rvoutwest.com and click on the link question. Now, next Monday's episode is one of our special destinations episodes, and we are going to chat all about the Olympic rain shadow area, as there is a lot of RVing fun to be had out there and some great camp spots that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. Thanks so much for listening to RV Out West. Join us again next week. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you choose to get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. I sure would appreciate it if you left a rating or a review of the show. Special thanks to Scott Holmes Music for providing us the intro song, We Are One. RV Out West can be found on Instagram and Facebook, where you can interact with us and follow along on our RV adventures around the Pacific Northwest. So get out there, explore, and go see what's beyond the horizon.